Tokyo, Japan. My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. Welcome to episode 40, part 3, entitled Active Listening. Now, what I want to do is I want to give a short review of part 1 and part 2 to bring you up to date, or maybe to just remind you what we've talked about. And then I'm going to teach 2 critical skills that are very, very useful in active listening. The first thing is, think of your good friend. What makes that friend good? What makes that a best friend? My guess is because you trust them. You trust them to truly listen to you in times of need. You trust them to celebrate with you when you have a positive event in your life. You trust them. And that trust is earned. And a good listener needs to earn the trust of the speaker. A key element here is that you cannot control anyone with these skills. You must be sincere in your listening. If you are insincere, the speaker will automatically pick up on that. We know, you and I know, when someone's not really listening to us. We know that. And that trust, the trust you started out with, if you're the listener and you're not sincere, the trust you started out with will be forever broken, and you'll never reach that level of trust again. So you must be sincere if you're going to use these skills. The purpose of active listening is multiple. Number 1, you're sending unspoken messages, underlying messages to the speaker. 1, I'm listening. 2, I want to learn and understand. 3, please help me. Those are the 3 underlying messages you're providing to the speaker. Another thing is, the brain is always active. And what active listening skills help you do is focus and refocus and refocus, because the brain is always active. You'll be listening intently to someone, taking notes, and always take notes, taking notes, and suddenly the thought of ice cream will pop into your brain. Who knows? Active listening skills will help you focus and refocus and get you back into the moment. It takes energy. It takes effort to be a good active listener. Being a good active listener is one main reason why a psychologist or a counselor gets $200 per hour, about 20,000 yen per hour. And it's not even an hour, it's only 50 minutes. Because it is full of effort and takes a lot of energy and attention to be a good active listener. Okay, so what can you do to be an active listener? You can repeat keywords. When somebody says, oh yeah, I love basketball. Oh, basketball, tell me more. You can repeat keywords. You can ask questions to get more information. And if you're asking a question, I suggest you start with a what question, which is open-end, which opens the door to all information. So what sports do you like? Oh, I really love baseball. Now, oh, really? How long have you played? Question. How long have you played baseball? Oh, I played. Where did you play? Where? Question. When do you like to play? I always like to play in the spring, late spring, and late summer. Wasn't too hot then. How about you? Oh, yeah, I like. And you'll get people involved. You can acknowledge. So repeat keywords, ask questions, acknowledge. Oh, really? I see. All right. Okay. Ah, tell me more. And you can combine them in any way you wish. The idea is you're showing the speaker, I'm listening to you. And who can you practice these skills on? Kids. Because adults almost never listen to kids. actually listening to a kid, you'll be amazed with what they say. They see the world completely different from an adult. It's just wonderful. So I suggest practice on kids. The downside of that, as I said last episode, is a kid will follow you around because you're one of the few adults who actually listen to them. Okay, that's the review. Now there's two very important skills that I have left that I want to teach you. Remember, the skills were repeat keywords, ask questions, acknowledge. Here's the other two. Here's the last two. Number one is called clarify. I've been teaching communications of all kinds, particularly business communications, for the last 30 years. And when I go into a company, if they want me to teach general communications, I will go to every foreigner who is in that office and I'll ask them, what do you want me to teach the staff? Now, these are more times not native English speakers, or they're speaking English as a second language. Almost always they say, please teach them what essentially is the skill of clarifying. Now, what do I mean? Clarifying means making sure you have good information. There's 3 steps to clarifying. Number one is you start off by saying, pardon me, let me see if I'm following. Or, pardon me, let me see if I understand. Now, I suggest pardon me instead of excuse me. Excuse me has become so casual, people just say, excuse me, instead of excuse me. Pardon me is just a little more formal, shows more respect. Pardon me, let me see if I understand. Let me do that again. Pardon me, let me see if I understand. Or, pardon me, let me see if I'm following. Why am I making such a big deal of stopping after that? Because most people say, pardon me, let me see if I understand you. No. Pardon me, let me see if I'm following you. By adding you at the end, what happens is my understanding, my following is no longer only my responsibility, it's the speaker's responsibility too. You want to give the speaker the freedom to help you. So you say, pardon me, let me see if I understand. That's number one. Number two, you feed back the information. You can say the information is, I call it depersonalizing, because you want to give the speaker the freedom to see their information like a scientist does, objectively, neutrally. So you don't say, you said, your information. No. You want to say the information is, or the idea is, and you feedback what you've heard. So, pardon me, let me see if I'm following. The idea is, the information is, and then finish by saying, is that correct? And what happens is when you're feeding back like this, people will automatically help you. If you said, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and the listener says, oh, pardon me, let me see if I understand. You're from St. Charles, Missouri? No, St. Louis. Automatically, the speaker will want to help you get good information. Remember the three underlying messages are, I'm listening, I want to learn and understand, please help me, and here it comes, they're going to help you. Almost automatically, because you're showing that you're listening, you're showing that you want to make sure you have that data correct. That's clarifying, and it's a very useful skill. Be you a native English speaker or non-native English speaker, it's very, very useful. It's essential as an active listener. Here's the last one, and this is very, very powerful. I've actually seen a fight break out because the guy who was pretending to listen was actually trying to control the speaker. And the speaker was this huge lineman, American football lineman. And he picked the guy up and said, "You making a joke of me?" So this is very powerful. With clarifying, you're giving back the information. With reflection, you're giving back the information with the feelings. Now, why is that so powerful? It's because everybody has feelings. One of the most common questions on a news broadcast is, "How did you feel when the earthquake hit?" Or, "How did you feel when you ran out of the store?" Why? Because people connect to feelings. So by giving the information with the feelings, people just are stunned that not only did you hear the information, you also heard the intonation, the nuance, the feeling behind the words. You really did pay attention, and now the speaker is just so willing to help. Yes. For example, "You seem to be really excited by the upcoming Olympics." "Yes, I am," and da-da-da. You seem to be excited. There's a feeling. And following, about the upcoming Olympics being the subject, the data. "Yes," and almost always they'll respond in that way. So there's a couple phrases. You seem to, verb, you seem to be excited, you seem to love, you seem to enjoy. Or, you sound as if you, and then verb, are excited, concerned, enjoy. It sounds as if you are. It seems as if you are. So there are some phrases you could use to help you active listen. Now remember, practice with kids. Don't practice on an adult. It's a true story about the guy that was learning reflection with me at university. And we went to a bar. He wasn't my friend. He's just somebody I knew. Went to a bar. We're standing at the bar, and this big, massive football player comes up to the bar. And the stupid guy says, "Watch this. I'm gonna do reflection on him." And the guy came up to the bar. Now, they had just lost a game. He says, "Hey, tough game tonight." "Yeah, it was, yeah." "You seem to be a little unhappy about it." "Oh, yeah, I am." "You seem to be really concerned about," and then he's winking at me, and I'm just backing away. And that football player grabbed the guy and picked him up. Said, "You making fun of me?" Huh? And I thought, oh boy, this is going to go into the never land of badness. Luckily, the football player had enough wherewithal to say, "Don't ever talk to me again." And we're like, "Ah!" Needless to say, I never went to a bar with that guy again. So, active listening. Let me go over the skills again. Number 1, repeat keywords. Shows that your listening helps you focus and refocus on the information coming. And the purpose of active listening is to open the door to as much information so that either as a psychologist or a counselor or a coach, you can gather the information you need to help make informed suggestions. Number 2, ask questions. Number 3, acknowledge. "Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. I see. Oh, all right. Really? Oh, tell me more." Number 4, clarify. "Let me see if I understand. Let me see if I'm following." The idea is that correct? And finally, reflection. You seem to be concerned. You seem to be worried. You seem to enjoy. You seem to really like. Or it sounds as if you are. You sound as if you are. So all of these put together can really, really work. And again, practice on kids. Because kids know if an adult's truly listening. And it's a wonderful wonderful experience to have a kid respond to the fact that you're listening to them. It's great. I hope this helps. Enjoy it. Try it for yourself. Let me see what you think and comments below. Please. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.